All right. Good evening. We're back
Hello,
at
guys.
Earth 1979. And hi, Jiggy. Hi, Nikki.
Hey Rick, what's up?
Good evening, everyone. To all the people watching on Philbars Online, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And for this particular episode, Nikki and Jiggy, we're talking Pinoy indie comics. Isn't that right?
Yes, Rick, dahil if not for the pandemic, it would have been the November Comic-Con, which would have been in Bayanihan Center. So we wanted to give a shout out to the wonderful people of Comic-Con. So this episode is dedicated to you guys. And Rick, I'm thankful na hindi tayo terno tonight. I almost wore that t-shirt.
Siguro, for the viewers watching us tonight, what me and Jiggy is actually a hint already kung sino yung guest namin.
Yeah.
Pero si Nikki, bakit? Galing yata na shoot si Nikki, no?
Hindi, Nikki came
Well,
from Balete Drive.
it's kind of like a Filipiniana top.
Oh, pang Buffy. All right, Jiggy. Well, we have a special guest tonight. Jigs, you want to introduce our guest?
He's joining us all the way from Davao, and he is the co-creator of Trese. And recently, he also had a special Buffy the Vampire Slayer cover brought by Dark Horse Comics, and it's an exclusive. There you go. So, friends, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kajo Baldisimo.
Ayan na! Woo!
Hello!
Yun! Hi, Kajo!
Hello, Nikki, Jiggy, Rick.
Kamusta, Kaj? What have you been up to?
Wala akong ginagawa ngayon. I'm working on Trese. Trese pa rin. I think, hindi ko pa pwede i-reveal. Pero Volume 2, for a Blaze, and yung iba secret lang muna. Pero yun.
Hindi pwede.
Pero related lahat.
Okay. So, bawal ang mga commission sa'yo muna?
Masisingit siguro. Once a week siguro.
Okay. Question. Did you design these also for Electromagnetic Tentacle?
Yata.
Hindi na niya maalala.
Hindi ko na maalala kung ginawa ko ba yan, yung suot mo, hindi ko. Kaya parang
sobrang busy ni Kajo.
Kung ginawa niya, padalan niyo ako. Kajo, how's the
we actually have a surprise for you tonight. Pero Nikki, go.
Yan. Sige. Let's ask him muna. So how's the quarantine been treating you and your creative juices lately? Gaano ba ka-affected yung illustrating mo ngayong pandemic?
Alam mo, sa totoo lang, naka-quarantine na ako since 2008 eh. Ay, 2010.
Same here. Diba?
2010.
Introverts.
Yes, nung nag-resign ako from the ad agency, ganun na yung buong buhay ko. Nasa loob lang nung condo. Lalabas para mag-lunch. Tapos, almost 16 hours nasa loob ng bahay nagsa-storyboard or gumagawa ng Trese. Ganun lang. So, nung nangyari yung pandemic...
Hindi siya gano'ng ka-apektado, no?
Happy si Kajo.
Apektado lang ako.
Wag naman happy.
Ang naiba lang is hindi ako makanood ng sine. Yun lang. Pero halos walang nagbago.
Catch, may question ako. Nung sinimulan yung budget tong 13, did you ever think that it would get to this? Itong ganitong epic proportions na may upcoming Netflix show, tapos may mga trade paperback na, it's being reprinted, there's merchandise, and it's a cultural phenomenon na nakita mo ba yun? And nagulat ka ba nung ito na?
Honestly, hindi. Honestly, masaya lang ako na may ginagawa kami ni Budge other than yung trabaho sa ad agency. Ganun lang siya. Hobby lang. I think hindi masyadong nagbago yung perspective ko sa kanya ngayon eh. It's still something na gusto ko lang gawin outside of my day job. So parang lahat ng nangyayari ngayon, hindi naman ako nagpapa-humble or anything. Pero it's icing. Masaya lang siya na may ginagawa kami yun. Yun nga. Other than yung typical na trabaho namin para pangkain. Yeah.
So, Kaj, question. Whenever you draw Trese, have eerie things, may nangyayari bang nakakatakot while dinadraw mo siya?
Wala.
Ever?
Wala. Ang pinaka nakakatakot ng nangyayari sa bawat every page na ginagawa ko for Trese is yung sa simula, yung may bumubulong sa'yo na hindi ka marunong eh.
Wow.
Pangit lalabas yan eh. Parang
dinadoubt mo pa sarili mo. Sa lagay na yan.
May ganung situation na nangyayari na, hirap niyan. Ako, wag mo na simulan. Or mamaya mo na gawin yan, nood ka mo ng TV. Tapos, yun lang. Self-doubt.
Ay, Kajo, di ba nabanggit ni Rick kanina yung Netflix na show. Gaano kayo ka-involved ni Budget doon?
Hindi ko alam si Budge, pero ako halos wala akong masyadong. Wala akong involvement.
Pero di ba ikaw nag-design ng characters?
Approval of design? Wala?
Parang nangyari lang is nag-meet kami nila direct for one day. I think to one whole day and half day. Tapos tinanong lang nila ako dun sa processes ko, gano'n. Tapos kung bakit ganito yung design, ito mga gano'n. Siguro gusto lang nilang malaman yung rules ng mundo para alam nila kung paano.
Actually.
Diba? Normally ganun
yung I've always wondered yung damit ni Alexandra Trese. Ba't ganun? Para siyang Chinese na trench coat. Saan mo napulot yun?
Kaya si Rizal. Yung isang image, pag ginugol mo, halos lalabas agad yun eh, yung quote niyo si Rizal na may white na
I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Ganun lang siya.
Well, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more question about the Netflix show, Kaj, no? Is it in English or Tagalog or paano ba to? Paano ba yung audio niya?
Actually, hindi ko alam eh. Pero di ba, siyempre, Netflix normally English siya. Tapos, ewan ko, base lang dun sa mga ibang shows sa Netflix, may normally English, tapos may mga subtitle, and then may mga dubbing. So, hindi ko alam may ganun silang ginawa. Actually, wala akong idea. Yung images na yung mga teasers na pinakita na yun, dalawang images, yun lang din yung first time ko nakita yung gawa nila.
Oh, wow.
Sabay, wala pa ako nakikita kahit anong
maraming nanonood tonight.
Question from Nico Valenzuela.
Nico Valenzuela is asking, what is the most exciting case that have you drawn for Trese? From Nico Valenzuela.
Most exciting case? Ay, Nico. Si Nico. Siguro, ngayon, masasabi ko pinaka-favorite ko yung yung kay hindi si Darna pero analog. Kasi si Nida, yung kwento ni Nida at ni Daniel. Yun, yung Secret Constellation. Kasi syempre, ang pinaghuhugutan yun is yung kinalakihan natin na superhero from childhood, di ba? So, ano lang, parang exciting lang na kung paano ni budget yung story na yun, tapos exciting din na kung paano ko siya in a way in-interpret. Hindi ko alam kung nag-work para sa lahat pero sa akin habang ginagawa ko, natutuwa ako.
Alright.
Kaj, may surprise kami for you tonight. Actually, gusto niyang mag-hi lang. So all the way from Billand, Budget is here joining us tonight to say hi.
Hey, Badge.
Is he still there?
Natulog.
Wala.
Anong oras na ba dun?
Joke lang pala.
Nawala siya.
Hindi
Oh my
yan.
God. Okay.
Nilitaw siya
Nawala
later.
si Budge.
Wait lang.
But he was here earlier and we wanted to surprise you. Na-surprise kami. Ginost tayo ni Budge.
Na-surprise talaga tayong lahat.
Oh, teka. Kaj, I have another question about this particular cover.
Yes.
Ano yung inspiration mo dito and gano'ng katagal mong ginawa to? Grabe detalye eh. Galing.
Siguro, syempre, normally kasi talaga nag-storyboards ako by day eh. So, siguro umabot siya ng at least 3 days. Para isingit-singit 4 days. Well, kasama coloring, siguro at least a week. So, after ng storyboarding ko, gawin ko na siya. Tapos, inspiration, well, naghanap lang ako ng way kung paano incorporate yung flag. Pero ang focus ko talaga is ano yung mga elements dun sa story na pwede ko ilagay sa cover. So lahat ng nandoon sa cover na yan is nire-represent niyan kung ano yung story. So syempre binasa ko muna yung story bago ko inisipan ng design yung yung cover.
Alright. Galing pare. Meron ka bang ibang cover project na pwede mong ikwento o sikreto muna yon?
Ngayon wala pa. wala pa. Siguro, wala pa. Wala pa akong ginagawang ibang covers. Ngayon, hindi ko rin alam kung may oras eh. Pero, hopefully, kasi saya lang na gawin. So, hopefully, may dumating na iba pa. Tapos, another challenge, paano ko na naman i-incorporate yung Philippine flag. Yun lang yung consistent sa lahat ng mga design ko. Yun yung pinaka-challenge ko. Parang paano ko i-incorporate ng hindi masyado halata.
Ayan na!
Ayan na yung surprise natin.
Bad, biting ka na? Figure out.
Nakamute si Budge. Batchmate ko daw, according to Rick Olivares.
Hindi, tinatanong.
Hello!
Budge, hi.
I'm ready. Am I live?
Sining duo.
Yes, you're live, Budge.
Okay. Hi there,
Ako may
sorry.
question ako for you two. For both of you. Bakit gustong-gusto nyong nananakot? I mean, why the genre na horror? Diba? Like, I get the Philippine mythology kasi talagang rich tayo dyan. Pero bakit gusto nyong manakot?
That's a good
Ano
question.
paisip sila?
There's more of that. Okay.
Actually, ang weird kasi parang yun nga yung parang yun yung hindi ko nga alam kung talagang nakakatakot na yung Trese now eh. Parang ang inisip ko is kung paano pa siya gawing mas nakakatakot.
Ayun.
Yeah, parang
So si Kajo talaga.
Sa opinion ko, mas naglilin siya into mas ewan ko, mas fantasy siya sa akin kaysa sa horror. Pero ewan ko, anong tingin mo, Bunch?
Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Alam mo, Nikki, hindi ako natatakot din sa ginagawa ni Kaj. I'm not saying it's bad, no? Kasi pinangahawa ko yung sinulat yung budget dito. Ito mo na may sinulat niya, fear not the dark.
Ano?
This word. Tapos si Kajo ito mo, salamat Rick, yun lang.
Wow.
Creepy eh, no?
So I had a discussion with one of my friends who's also a writer, and he was also saying parang that Trese doesn't necessarily fall into the horror genre, even though it's full of aswang and monsters. And yeah, even he was like saying, baka nga mas urban fantasy yung setting ng Trese. But I think, it was never our intent na manakot. But I guess it's also, in the same way, you like the feeling of riding a roller coaster. You like that feeling na matakot ka ng konti, diba?
Yeah.
So I think when I write the stories and then when Kajo draws them, it's really our chance to face our fears. These are the things that frightened us as kids. Yung white lady, yung tiyanak, yung manananggal. So hindi yung mga kinakatakutan namin dati. So ngayon, it's like, by putting it in a story, it's like trying to figure out, bakit nga ba siya nakakatakot dati? And if people can face those fears, then they can, figure out how to best deal with their fears, maybe.
I have another question. Kaj budget.
Ayan.
Trese all those years ago, when you started it, na-plot nyo na ba yung beginning, middle, and ending nung sinimulan nyo to? And if you did, has it changed along the way?
Here's the secret, Rick. We're just making this up as we go along.
Maganda yan, para you can't ask them for spoilers, di ba?
No, when we start on the first year of Trese, it was really a month-on-month, issue by issue exercise para sa amin ni Kajo. It was only later on, siguro, ewan ko, after book 3. Siguro mga after book 3, yun, paminsan-minsan, pag magkasama kami ni Kajo sa Comic-Con or bigla na lang magte-text si Kajo sa gabi, parang, batch ba akong ganito? So and those notes are like, things that end up in my notebook, and I guess they're like waypoints that we want to get to eventually. So there's a destination which we want to go to, but the middle ground we don't know.
Yeah, pero may ending siya. May ending siya na may hindi ko alam kung natatago ni Budge, pero binigyan ko siya nag-sketch ako ng page na sabi ko, baka ito yung final page natin.
Whoa!
Yep.
Yeah, hindi ko alam kung nasaan na yun eh.
May file pa ako. Eto, gusto niyo makita? Hanapin.
Yun.
Yeah,
guys, kanina may question tayo eh. We didn't get to read it. Pero tungkol dun sa Night at the Museum, yung sinulat. Yan. Dream character crossover, Batman, Wolverine, Trese, Night at the Museum was awesome. It was. I read it. Bakit silang dalawang naisip nyong isali dun?
Paborito eh.
Favorite ni Budge sa Batman.
Yun. I understand as a Batman fan. Kajo, I love your Batman though. Ang haba nung ears ng cowl niya. Mukhang Arkham. Although,
may purpose
I was
yun
wondering.
May purpose.
Anong purpose niya?
Kailangan kasi medyo kamukha niya yung mga ninja eh. Yung mga ninja at
oo nga. Yes. Although I was wondering, sana sinala nyo rin si Constantine para they could one up each other, ganun, kasi they're quite similar, di ba, to each other. Parang pagalingan.
Next crossover, sa next fanfic namin siguro.
Yun.
Okay, guys, I have a question. Budge, alam mo na sensitive tong topic na to for me, but I wanted to hear it from the both of you na, should Alexandra have a love life? personally, like some fans, siguro half, parang divided into half na some say, no, hindi na kailangan ng love life. Yung iba, no, give her a love life. Pero kayo, personally, do you think that she should have a love life?
I think she's career muna bago love.
Yes.
I think she's too
Yan ang
busy
sagot.
and devoted to her. She's married to her work, I guess, is the quickest way to say it. That's priority for her, but doesn't mean it's impossible for someone to try and be part of her life.
Subok lang.
Oh,
May
it's a
disclaimer.
question. May oras ba siya? Ikaw, Kaj.
Tingin ko knowing si Trese, si Alexandra, tingin ko kung magkakaroon siya ng love life, may iba pang purpose other than kailangan ko ng romance. May iba pang reason na hindi ko alam kung ano. Diba? May scheme or something.
Fair answers from the creators.
Guys, para
In
kayong
terms-
laging duo, no? I was thinking, how did this rhythm develop? Sobrang tagal nyo na bang working together? But before Trese pa. Trese has been around since 2005, di ba?
Kaj, do you remember the first comic book we worked on together? You still remember that one?
Well, naalala ko pa yung first time nakilala ko si Budge. Saan yun? Sa Robinson's Galleria.
Okay.
Sa exhibit
Sa
ng
mall.
Alamat.
Uh,
Doon sa spot na yun. Sobrang bilib na bilib ako sa grupo na yun. Na sumali ako sa isang group na gumagawa ng sci-fi na comic book, yung Archon. Doon ako sumali. Tapos, syempre, magkakakilala yung mga friends sila lahat sa Alamat eh. So minsan nagmi-meeting sila sumasama ako. Pero yung first na ginawa natin Budge na comics.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, so before me and Kajo worked on that one comic book, usually pag may dumadating na racket na kailangan gumawa ng comics tungkol sa ganito, Kajo would be the first guys I would ask. So Kajo actually, alala mo na? It was I think a grand total of 10 issues was printed of that. So we were hired by an NGO to make a comic book about AIDS and about HIV and how to prevent the spread of it. So I wrote it, he drew it, we photocopied it on a colored Xerox. They made 10 copies. We gave it to the NGO, and then we never heard from them again. We got paid eventually. They said we were going to print it and distribute it nationwide. It was one of those projects, but yeah, I mean, after that, I think the next one na project namin was The Last Datu.
Ay pa Budge, yung mga in-between may mga pinakulayan mo ako ng batch 72 na cover.
Right.
Tapos nag-letter ako ng mga batch 72 na isang issue yata. Isang issue.
So yeah, in a way, we've been working on comics in bits and pieces until ginawa ni Kajo yung Last Datu. And then he asked me to write the script for it. And then soon after that, I think, was when he sent that fateful text in 2005 when he said, gawa tayo ng comics.
Yun.
But yeah, I think...
Do you guys ever change roles?
And they
I was
say
thinking.
that the rest is history.
Yes.
Do you guys ever change roles na parang in a sense, di ba you write it first and then you pass it on to Kajo for him to illustrate? Nangyayari ba na he illustrates first and then ibabalik niya sa'yo and then you fill in yung dialogue? Mga ganon.
I think recently in this particular, I think in book 7 we kind of did that. Pero hindi pa namin ginagawa yung si Kajo yung I think which is something we might do or should do.
Although yung process namin ni Budge parang napaka fluid eh. Na may mga times na magpapadala siya ng na-try na ba natin sobrang tight na script badge? Parang hindi pa, no?
No.
Parang general idea nung mangyayari sa page. Tapos may mga details siya na importante kailangan ko ilagay.
Yeah.
And then, gagawin ko. Tapos, pag may nadagdag ako na extra na tingin niya pwedeng mag-matter, pwede niyang i-revise yung mga words based on. Tapos meron din na kapag siguro pag may na-drawing ako na may na-miss ako na detail, pwede niyang sasabihin sa akin and then i-revise ko yung page. So parang may back and forth din na nangyayari.
I think the best example of that nga, and I love the telling the story, is how on the first issue nga ng Trese, the first time the Kambal appear, there were actually captions that tell you kung sino yung Kambal, saan sila nanggaling, why are they so loyal to Trese. Because again, my thinking was we're going to make this one issue and then
one shot.
We wrote one shot lang to, wala na kaming oras gumawa pa. So binuhos ka na lahat doon na parang ito si Trese, ito yung Kambal. And then when I got the pages back from Kajo, wala yung mga sinulat ko. Sabi ko kay Kaj, nakalimutan mo ba lagay yung kwento ng Kambal? And sabi niya, parang sobrang astig daw yung kwento ng Kambal, gawin na lang daw namin for another issue. So that's why in the pages where the Kambal appear, it's just all of the, it's just them fighting and, shooting through the aswang. And eventually, because of that, we ended up with, essentially, that's what book 3 is all about, the secret origin of the Kambal. So because Kajo thought, this is a cooler story to tell somewhere else, and it actually helped because suddenly people were wondering, who are the Kambal and where did they come from? And people didn't know until that story.
Yeah.
There you
sayang
go.
kasi parang masyadong maganda yung kwento nila para i-contain sa isa or dalawang
kung ilabas agad.
Good call.
Ganun.
Yes.
Okay, we got a question from Christine Sabilio. Not sure if this was asked already since... welcome, Christine. So, Budge and Kaj, do you do a lot of research on Philippine folklore while developing Trese? What was your main reference material?
Hi, Christine. Yan, yung research si Budge yan. Si Budge masipag dyan. Yung visual, yung vocabulary ko ng visual is yung mga naaalala ko from childhood. Mga comics, mga Shake, Rattle, and Roll, mga Regal Shocker.
Sabi sa'yo, si Kajo talaga gusto manakot eh.
So yun na yung basis ko, mga comics from the 70s tsaka early 80s. Yan. Pero yung mga detailed na yan si Budge yan.
No, I don't do a lot of research. Follow my example, kids. No, a lot of the first stories of Trese were really based on kind of what Kajo said. So childhood stories were the basis of all of those things. So that, I guess that was the bulk of the research. But when it comes to specific characters or moments, that's when in a way, it's like, it's the stuff I read, in high school and college. I just go back to them. The Talagbusao, which is I guess one of the best examples. I read about the Talagbusao in the Soul Book. And we had the Soul Book in our house way back in the 80s. And it's just that when I read about this God of War, turns out we have a God of War, parang sabi ko, uy, astig na character to. But I never thought of superhero ba siya, super villain or whatever. But finally, when we get to book 3 and we needed a big bad for Trese, that's when I remembered, let's this sounds like a great antagonist for Trese. In one of the other stories, the first draft of it was Trese was fighting a fire demon. I mean, I didn't know anong klaseng, creature or character ba to. I just knew that the character had fire powers. So natapos na yung script, wala pa akong description kung ano talaga yung, I would have gone for the generic fire elemental. But that's when I picked up one of the books I had at home, and that's when I discovered the Oriol. And turns out the Oriol is a creature that transforms into a snake and it could breathe fire. So sabi ko, perfect. And of course, Kajo redesigned it to become that gigantic centipede-like creature. So yeah, it's more of like I just keep reading and writing down stuff that I find interesting. Or if I hit a writer's block, that's when I go to the Soul Book, or UP came out with these books that just has the titles Myth, and then the other one is Legend. And then there's good old Google to try and find other stuff.
Right. There's a question here from Ray Velasco. He is asking, any chance for a Trese book to be published in an oversized format?
Oversized.
Kajo's art printed in larger paper, please. Sabi niya. Parang artist ba?
Larger format. You mean like a European graphic album format?
Parang mga artist edition, ganun.
Artist edition.
Artist edition yung gusto ni Ray. But bigger than the usual Trese books. Budge and Kaj, congratulations, because you have the Ablaze edition coming out in the US. And I heard
next week.
Next week
na. Yeah, exactly. So Ray, order this from Philbars.
Yes. There you go. Perfect segue.
Budget
Kajo.
Kanina si Rick was asking about the Netflix series. Tapos si Kajo was like, ako wala ka masyadong alam dyan. Gusto niyang ma-surprise. Ikaw ba, Budget? Were you more involved sa paggawa nitong Netflix series? And did you envision na si Alexander Trese will one day, be in an animated series, or malay mo one day live action pa? Was it the end goal or hindi? It was mostly just comics.
Yeah. We started this because Kajo was bored, and we, as he said before, and I needed to, and he asked me to come up with something. And I guess that working in an ad agency, we just wanted to do something na kami lang yung mag-a-approve. But as far as the Netflix series is concerned, no, we were not. We were not involved in the day-to-day. What do you call this? Production of it. As Kajo might have said, we met with them for a day. I got to meet with them for a day with Jay Oliva and his writing team. And then Kajo got to spend the day with Jay and Jojo, the art director. And then what happened after that? I have read the scripts. So when it was all done, I got to read the scripts, and I am pretty happy with what they've done. They have done something really surprising in putting the stories together. They picked different cases from the different books, and they have created this, this wonderful season for what the series is going to be. And early on, parang did we ever think this would become, get where it is? It again, when we started, we were focusing on the comics. Much later on, we started to get some interested parties about, producing it, but nothing ever came out of it. And I get it was always like a moment of like, will this actually come true? There were moments when our producers, Tanya and Shanti, would tell us, we're meeting with this studio and this director is already looking at it. So parang it was always that moment of like anticipation na parang, ito na ba? Mag-green light na ba talaga tayo? And that was like, and imagine that's 9 years of that.
Yeah.
Until
I can
finally,
imagine.
until finally Netflix said yes to it.
Well, good things come to those who wait. We want to thank Budge. I think Budge has to go because he has work. And if I'm not mistaken, tanghali na yata dyan sa inyo na, Budge.
Yes.
Oo.
It's my lunch break. Lunch break ko to.
No, I wish we had more time, Budge.
Thanks, Budge. Super appreciate it.
We'll come back when the
Thanks,
series
Budge.
comes out. See you guys. See you guys.
All right. So, as we said earlier in this episode of Hall of Justice, we're talking about a lot of the indie comics and sinimulan natin sa Trese. Ngayon, we're going to move on. Meron din yung Wave, yung sa Marvel Comics. Budge, nasusubaybayan mo yun, yung Wave na character? Si Kajo, nasusubaybayan mo yan?
Hindi.
Nakakatuwa lang, no? Kasi yung mga Filipina superheroes, nabibigyan na sila ng recognition ngayon. Like si Zaza Saturna, may bago daw animated movie.
Yan.
Yun nga, si Trese, meron ng
So it's
diba? Meron na
Zaza
rin siya sa
Saturna
Netflix.
versus the Amazonistas of Planet X.
Yung,
maganda
di ba?
Closure ng
Tapos,
ng mga Filipino characters.
Si Darna celebrating her 70th anniversary ngayon. And meron tayong magandang figure na available sa Philbars. It's limited edition. It's by Halimaw. And 1,500 pieces lang yan. So, if you're a real fan of Darna, I suggest you get yours fast.
Right.
Maayos yung sculpt,
These will
Nikki.
sell like panties.
maganda.
Yeah!
To be fair, it's
Tinitingnan
a
ko nga
really
na isang
nice sculpt.
araw eh. Tapos action figure pa siya. So, pwede mo siya i-post.
Oo, nako, yan yung Christmas gift ko sa sarili ko.
Pero hopefully soon, may Alexandra and the Kambal, 3-pack. Diba?
Yan.
O kaya Funko Pop, no?
We'll see.
Yan, di ba?
Sana. Ganda
We
pa.
shall see.
Oo. So now we're gonna go to this part where the three of us will share some local books that we like. We'll start off with Jiggy. Jiggy, go.
Yep. Okay, so I have 2 recommendations for you guys kung hindi pa kayo nagbabasa ng mga local comics, apart from Trese, of course. But before I begin, you can still pre-order the Trese Ablaze edition until tomorrow on the Philbars site. So that's shop.philbars.online. And ayun, you can still pre-order this until tomorrow. So do take that chance, pre-order nyo na dahil it's gonna be a big show on Netflix and baka maubusan kayo. Anyway, I have 2 picks. One is from my actually kindergarten classmate ko siya, si Andrew Drilon. He has this book called Kare Kare Komiks, and it's just a really compilation of short stories. When he was interviewed, yung Kare Kare, ang dami niyang mga sangkap and ingredients. So that's what the book is all about from Andrew Drilon. So do check out Kare Kare Komiks. And the other one is Andong Agimat. So if you're also into the Philippine folklore, si Arnold Are has this epic story na ang mundo ni Andong Agimat. So he's also against all those Philippine mythological creatures in underworld nga of the Philippines. So do check that out also. Those are my 2 recommendations.
I think
Rick, what about you?
Philbars, no? Jiggy, it's available in Philbars.
They are both available on Philbars. Rick, what about you?
Ako naman, I would like to urge you, yung mga nanonood din sa Hall of Justice, na to bug Ivan, Jacob, and Eric to order some of this really cool Filipino indie comics. So I'll start off with Og from the insanely talented Julian. This is a very irreverent comic. If you like stuff like Beavis and Butthead, yung mga ganyan, medyo irreverent stuff, no? This is a great comic book, satire, and a funny look at growing up, no? I don't want to spoil it, but the art is just insane, and it's just a fun read. You might even utter a few words that are not supposed to be mentioned in this podcast. The next one that I want to show you is Melag from Bong Redilla. Yan. Sabihin niyo kila Ivan, order niyo to. This is just a lovely, lovely book. And take a look at the artwork, no? It reminds me of, there's this indie comic book in the States that I collect. It's The Cursed Pirate Girl, no? And you gotta read that one. You might want to bug Ivan as well. I don't want to spoil it, but this is simply a lovely graphic novel. You gotta get this. The last one is from our friends, sila taga-Ilog, Kanto. Ayan, parang kung mahilig ka sa mga Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo, ganyan. This is a very funny comic book, no? Na, ayan, I urge you to ask our friends from Phil Bars to order this for you guys and you might want to pick it up, no? So yun yung akin. Next,
Question.
Yes, Kajo.
Na ano yan, ma-order online tapos pwedeng ipa-deliver lang.
I'm sure.
Ooh.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Oh.
Sa website siguro.
Mhm.
Oh.
Si Adarna nagpapa-pick up.
Pick.
Pwede rin. Pwede rin.
Kung hindi ka, just let me know. Papa-LBC ko sa'yo.
Yan.
So, sige.
Ito, Kaj, kunin mo to. Yung Melag kay Bong Reddy.
Matagal ko na nga nakikita yan sa fully booked yata. Pero syempre, wala pa akong cash. So. Ang dami
Can't go wrong with this one. It's an awesome
Yes.
book.
Yeah. Tapos yung UG, parang nakikita ko siya nung mini comic pa siya nung sa Comic-Con. Ngayon na siya fully published. May sarili ba siya? Yan.
Ito yun. Yung unang labas.
Self-published ba or ano?
Self-published. Pero itong collected edition, it's under Halia Publishing, no?
Di na kila Mervin.
Kila Mervin Malonzo, yung sa tabi po. Ayan, may 5 issues na lumabas nito.
Nice.
And, it's if you like Adult Swim from MTV and all that stuff, UG is for you. Mapapa-UG ka.
Nice.
Oo. Ayan, meron pa tayo.
Alright, ako,
Nikki,
mostly, top of my head, dalawa. So sorry na I chose this episode pa not to have the books beside me. Nakakainis. Okay, so first, si Filipino Heroes League, Paulo Fabregas. I think editor din niya si Budget. Tapos, what I like about this is it's both funny and depressing. Mahilig kasi ako sa parang dystopian superhero reality. So, basically, kapag third world country ka, third world din ang iyong superheroes. So, these are heroes battling with poverty. In poverty, cheap costumes, yun nga, kaaway din nila yung government, and then their super villains are dictators.
Yeah.
So, may political matters ganun siya. Which is why I love it. So, lumabas ata yung third niya noong 2019. Ang haba nung gap. I think 2014 yung second niya. Tapos itong the newest one, the third volume was released 2019. Anyway, yun. Not gonna spoil much. Pero, meron lang akong isang favorite scene doon. There was this news anchor. She put more weight dun sa... Because she was reading the news, diba? They put more weight dun sa news about this Filipino superhero na sidekick lang naman ng isang American superhero. Just because he managed to, get well-known sa Amerika kahit pa sidekick lang naman siya. Whereas our heroes here, naghihirap. Well, they're still trying their best na, alam mo you get it, the social commentaries. Sobrang, yung reality ng Philippines, may kita mo dito. The best superheroes, nagmamigrate sila sa US. Kasi superheroism is apparently a profession, diba? So, ganun siya. Kaya siya. The second one is Doorkeeper by Scott Lee Chua and Ethan Chua. They're not related. Forward by Budget. Hindi naman ako masyadong fan, no? Ni Budget.
Hindi naman.
Hindi naman.
Kudos muna dun sa dalawang author kasi they made this free online nung nag-hit yung pandemic. So, thank you for doing that. I like this kasi I like Sandman. Comparisons to Sandman can't be helped talaga with this one. Pero I'd still say it's uniquely Filipino kasi it's an anthology. But yung main premise niya is basically Doorkeeper is this celestial being na he watches over everything, everyone since the start and the end of time. Ngayon, he just shows people kung anong mangyayari sa choices nyo on pivotal moments. For example, okay, I cannot really give an example, pero it spans across so many timelines kasi merong from folklore to literature to history. Tapos yun yung yung anthologies niya. So merong martial law and then you would see Florante at Laura na and then he's there showing people na, pag itong ginawa mo, if you go this route, itong mangyayari sa future. If you go this route, itong mangyayari sa future. So he's not really supposed to interfere. He just shows you things. But what happens when he finally does? Yun.
Okay.
So we'll read those two.
Okay.
Wait,
So,
Ikaw,
guys, meron
Kajo,
akong
what have you
ikwento.
been reading so far? Ay, sorry. Later.
No, go. Kajo.
Well, wala akong bagong comic book na binibili now. Pero ang nangyayari sa akin is hunt down ko yung mga comics na hindi ko kayang bilhin nung 90s. Wala kasing pera.
Yun.
Yeah, so yung buong run ni Jim Lee sa X-Men, sa Uncanny X-Men, na kompleto ko na.
nice.
So, yeah, mga ganun. So, puro back issues ang binabasa ko ngayon. So, wala akong, not even binabasa. Parang gino-collect ako since nabasa ko naman na sila noon pa. So, kaya
Jiggy, you were
interested
saying.
doon ako sa mga Filipino titles na kwento niya. Although, ang nababasa ko pa lang yata from all of that, yung Filipino Heroes League niya ni Paolo.
Jig, you were doing something?
Yeah, I wanted to say na si Kajo ang reason why Manix Abrera has some published work. Kaj, I don't know kung napakinggan mo yun, but I was interviewing Manix. Tapos sinabi niya, Manix, paano ka na, how did you get into publishing? Wala, kasama ko si Kajo dun sa isang conference, an ad. You were making an ad, you were both storyboard artists, ganyan. Tapos, itry mo to sa publisher na to, parang okay yan. So si Kajo was working with them. At sabi ni Manix, hindi. Sinuggest lang sa akin ni Kajo. But
yeah,
if not for yun.
Familiar lang ako kasi sa gawa ng Visprint. Since parang kinokolekta ko yung mga babong books nung time na yun. So, siguro nakalimutan ko na yung conversation na yun namin ni Manix. Pero siguro na-mention ko lang sa kanya na parang okay tong publisher na to.
Yun.
So siguro doon yun nilapit. So doon nagsimula yung relationship nila.
Nice.
Machine tsaka Visprint. So nakakatuwa.
Yeah. Yun.
Hopefully we'll have Manix
Kajo,
in the future.
before we let you go, just asking, anong hope natin for the Philippine comics industry? Ano bang mabibigay mong advice para din dun sa mga taong nagsusulat pa lang na first comic book nila? Lalo na we all have more time on our hands right now, diba?
Oo. Tiyagain nyo. Parang keep at it. Kasi parang halimbawa kami ni Budge, 15 years bago may nangyaring ganito. So parang hindi natin magagaranti na after 15 years magkakaroon na ng animation. Pero yun nga parang siguro wag maging ganun yung goal na maging animation, maging toys. Gawin niyo na yung comics kasi masaya. Sobrang masaya na kahit hindi kayo kumikita doon. Kasi hindi ko masasabi na na reliable na source of income ang comics dito sa Philippines now kasi up to now
sadly
sadly di ba si Budge may day job, ako may day job, so yun sasuggest ko na keep your day job pero magbigay kayo ng time na gawin yung comics nyo, di ba? Tapos sabi ko nga dun sa isang tawag dun parang indie na comics na ginagawa ko. Parang may isang kwento kasi dun na yung guy parang hindi siya ang pagkakilala niya sa sarili niya, hindi siya magaling, hindi siya matalino, pero ano siya tawag dito, persistent na gagawin niya lang ang best niya all the time kahit hindi nagsasucceed. So kasi parang after all the effort na walang kapalit na success agad, mas maraming failures, eventually may mangyayari na makakatsamba ka.
Yun.
So, hopefully, bago ka dumating sa time na yun, baka abutin ng 10 years or 20 years yung tsamba na yun. So, kung mahal mo talaga, kailangan mo mahalin, di ba? Yung comics, yung craft na yun para umabot ka dun sa time na yun na kung may rewards man, baka dumating.
Yan.
Keep at it. Yun yung short. yun yung short answer. Keep at it.
Tama.
All right. Kaj,
Thanks, Kaj.
Thank you talaga.
On that note, thanks for joining us, Kaj.
Salamat din po sa inyong lahat. Jiggy, Nikki, thank you for the time.
Ang formal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Okay. As we let Kajo Baldisimo go, we're gonna wrap up our show of Fall of Justice. Jig, papakita ko na yung mga hauls ko for the week before we go.
Yeah, but Rick, don't forget we have a surprise for all the viewers. For sticking it out with us. And if you're still with us, the first 5 of you who will go now to the Philbar shop at shop.philbars.online, use the code Komiks1979 to get 20% off on Buffy Every Generation #1. And this is the Philbars exclusive cover by Kajo Baldisimo. So remember, only 5 slots available. So guys, go now. Now. KOMIKS1979. Yan.
Yan.
Okay.
So,
Rick, sorry, your hauls?
Yeah. Well, actually, baka, Kaj, if you need to go, okay lang. Nandito pa kami.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Bye ulit.
Kaj, right. Thanks ulit. Okay, ang hauls ko for the week. I have 3 comic books. Stormbreakers. It's a sketchbook. Because I got it for Peach. How do you pronounce this? Momoko?
Peach Momoko.
Momoko.
Yeah.
Momoko. Okay, and I got it. Mura lang, $50 dito sa Philbars. Rorschach, issue number 2. And because of Jiggy, yan, balik Spider-Man tayo.
Yan.
Yes.
Tapos, ang pinakahuli kong nakuha yung pop na to. Magtatayo ako the Hans Gruber Liberation Front.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Ayan. So, ito yung hauls ko. Kayo, may hauls ba kayo for the week?
Unfortunately, I still need to pick up. I got a text from Philbars Mega Mall. So, hi to Jessa and the rest of the staff. I'm going to pick up my Black Widow Hot Toys na Endgame edition. So, yun. Nako.
Yun.
Ayan. Oh, hello pala kay Erbe Doroteo. He's been with us every single episode. Siya rin yung unang-unang nanonood. So, thank you very much for watching us week on week.
Thank you, Erbe.
Yan. So, we also want to thank everyone watching us tonight. Yan, yung dating kong office mate, kasama ko sa isang ad agency, si Rick Parma. Okay, Rick, isa pang comic book collector yan. Ray Velasco, si Nats. Sabi ni Nats, si Nikki from ANC, a comic fanatic. Nats. Right.
Hello.
Chris Alcaraz. We have Tintin. Sino pa ba? Si Jojo. Lawrence, Jerome. Nako, maraming nanonood sa atin ngayong gabi. Salamat at sana nag-enjoy kayo sa aming mga bisita na si Budget at si Kajo. Alright, so this is the part where we have to say goodbye to Earth 1970.
Yeah, but if people want to suggest what you want us to talk about, do let us know, because yung si Erbe is asking us for a Marvel and League of Legends crossover episode. Pero mukhang kailangan ko muna mag-download ng League of Legends kasi hindi ko alam kung paano laruin yan. Si Nikki siguro alam niya kung paano.
Actually, hindi. Kasi it's online, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Maybe next time, Erbe.
Yeah, that's true.
Hanggang console games lang ako, Erbe.
We want to invite all
please,
the people watching us to follow us on social media. To check out the YouTube channel of Philbars Online. Ito, makikita mo yung Twitter account ng Philbars, kasama na yung Instagram. And when you get your hauls sa Philbars, we'd like you to take pictures of that and share it as well on your social media. There. So we've come
with hashtag Hall of Justice.
Yan. So we come to an end of another episode of Hall of Justice. Nikki, Jiggy, you want to say goodbye to our viewers and any last words?
Stay healthy, stay geeky, and get your news sa ANC and DZMM Teleradyo. Yun lagi.
Jiggy?
No, see you guys next week. Stay safe.
Exactly. And stay safe, everyone. There's a vaccine on the horizon. A little more patience and we'll get out of this rut. So we want to thank everyone, Ivan Guerrero, sila Eric and Jacob, Micah, sa lahat ng people na gumagawa at nasa backroom ng Hall of Justice. Thank you, and you want to thank everyone for watching, and that you continue to enjoy your being a geek, but we also ask you to exercise being safe at all times. Even if there's a vaccine on the horizon, that doesn't mean we are not yet out of it. So for my colleagues on Hall of Justice, ako po si Rico Olivares. Maraming salamat and good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.